Hey everyone, it's Julian. I want to tell you a story today, a personal one. It's about something that held me back for years, and maybe it's holding you back too. It's this idea that you have to be perfectly ready before you can start anything important. For the longest time, I wanted to start this YouTube channel. I had so many ideas buzzing in my head, things I was passionate about and wanted to share. But I kept telling myself, not yet, Julian. You're not ready. My inner voice was relentless. It would say, you need a better camera. Your lighting is terrible. You don't know how to edit videos properly. What if no one watches? What if people leave mean comments? You need to take a course on public speaking first. You need to read 10 more books on the topic to be a real expert. The list of excuses was endless. So what did I do? I prepared. And I prepared. And I prepared some more. I bought books on video production. I watched hundreds of hours of tutorials on lighting, sound, and editing software. I wrote and rewrote scripts, trying to make them perfect. My apartment started to look like a mini studio with gear I barely knew how to use. Weeks turned into months, and months turned into a year. I had all this equipment, all this knowledge, but not a single video to show for it. I was trapped in what I now call the readiness trap. The funny thing is, the more I learned, the more I realized how much I didn't know. It was a vicious cycle. Every new piece of information just highlighted another gap in my skills, making me feel even less ready than when I started. The goalpost of being ready kept moving further and further away. One evening, I was talking to a friend, venting my frustrations. I told him about my grand plans and how I was just trying to get everything perfect before I launched. He listened patiently and then said something so simple, yet it completely shifted my perspective. He said, Julian, you're never going to feel ready. The only way to get ready is to start. It hit me like a ton of bricks. He was right. All this preparation wasn't actually preparing me. It was a form of procrastination, a way for my fear of failure to keep me safely in my comfort zone. The fear wasn't about not having the right gear. It was about putting myself out there and potentially not being good enough. So that very night, I made a decision. I was going to start before I was ready. I grabbed my phone, not the fancy camera I'd bought, propped it up on a stack of books. Used a regular lamp for light and just started talking. It was messy. I stumbled over my words. The lighting was awful and the sound had an echo. But I filmed my first video. When I watched it back, my first instinct was to delete it immediately. The critic in my head was screaming, see? I told you, it's terrible. But then I remembered my friend's words. This wasn't about being perfect. This was about starting. So, with a deep breath and a racing heart, I uploaded it. And you know what happened? Nothing dramatic. A few friends watched it. I got a handful of views and a couple of nice comments. But the most important thing that happened was internal. I had done it. I had faced the fear and broken the cycle of procrastination. I had proven to myself that I could start, even if I wasn't perfect. That first terrible video gave me something that no amount of preparation ever could: real-world feedback. I learned that my phone's microphone was pretty bad, so for the next video, I used the simple headphones that came with it. That was a small improvement. I saw that the lamp created weird shadows, so I tried filming near a window during the day. Another small improvement. With each video, I learned something new. Not from a book or a tutorial, but from doing. I learned how to speak more naturally by, speaking to the camera. I learned how to edit by fumbling through the software, making mistakes, and figuring things out one clip at a time. The quality improved not overnight, but incrementally, video by video. This is the secret that no one tells you about success. Readiness isn't a precondition for starting. It's a result of starting. You don't become a great writer by reading about writing. You become one by writing day after day. You don't become a confident speaker by studying speeches. You become one by speaking, even when your voice shakes. So, if you're waiting for that perfect moment, I want you to hear this loud and clear. That moment will never come. The stars will never perfectly align. You will never have enough time, money, or knowledge. The fear of not being good enough will always be there, whispering excuses in your ear. Here's a realistic plan you can use to break free. First, redefine what ready means. Ready doesn't mean perfect. Ready means you have a good enough idea and the courage to take the first step. That's it. Second, make the first step ridiculously small. Don't say, "I'm going to launch a successful online business." Instead, say, "Today, I'm going to spend 15 minutes researching one domain name." Don't say, "I'm going to get fit." Say, "Today, I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk. My first step was just turning on the camera and talking for 5 minutes." Make it so small that your brain can't make an excuse. Third, embrace being a beginner. It's okay to be clumsy and awkward. Every expert you admire was once a fumbling amateur. The first painting was a mess. The first line of code had bugs. The first sales call was a disaster. That's not failure. That's the price of admission. It's how we learn and grow. Give yourself permission to be imperfect. Finally, focus on action, not outcome. Don't get fixated on getting 1,000 subscribers or making $1 million. Focus on the process. Your goal isn't to be a successful YouTuber. Your goal is to upload one video this week. Celebrate the act of showing up, regardless of the result. The results will come as a byproduct of your consistent action. Look, I still don't feel ready most of the time. Every time I sit down to film, that little voice of doubt is still there. But now I know how to handle it. I acknowledge it, and then I press record anyway. So what is it that you're waiting to be ready for? Starting that business? Learning that instrument? Asking that person out? Writing that book? Whatever it is, I want to challenge you. Take that one tiny, imperfect, scary first step today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, because the person you want to become is waiting on the other side of that first action. You don't find confidence and then act. You act, and then you find confidence. You build the path by walking it. Start before you're ready. I promise you, it's the only way to get anywhere. Thanks so much for listening to my story. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're going to start. And if you want to follow my imperfect journey, please subscribe. See you in the next one.